Allen in the newsroom with more on that.
Mitch and Nancy, good evening. You mentioned the Valley Springs area, and as Aaron and Patrick have mentioned earlier this evening, we have a flash flood warning in effect for the southeast part of Minnehaha County, encompassing that Valley Springs area, however not encompassing the actual city of Sioux Falls. And we have a situation developing in the Valley Springs area. Here's what's happened. The torrential rain has caused street flooding in the area and also flooding of surrounding roads to the point to where the access road between Valley Springs and the Minnesota state line, that is flooded right now. So there is no access to Valley Springs from the east along that main road from Minnesota into Valley Springs. Now here's the situation that's developing. Apparently at least 2 propane tanks in the area, the high waters, have cut those tanks loose. We don't know if they're floating in that nearby stream that runs just to the north of Valley Springs. We don't know if they're floating through the actual streets of Valley Springs. We do know the tanks are loose. We have heard that some fuel has leaked from that. We'll get back to you on this in just a second. Aaron and Patrick, what do you have?
Brian, we have a newly issued tornado warning for Kingsbury and Minor County in southeast South Dakota until 9:15. Again, here's a look at storm watch here. And again, you can see a lot of icons here on the screen. Strong hail rotating in tornado.
People can get around town.
Brian Allen has gotten some information on the Valley Springs situation. We'll toss it back to him in the newsroom.
All right, Nancy, thanks. Okay, let's bring you up to date on the situation in Valley Springs. Torrential rains throughout the evening have caused a fair amount of flooding in the southeastern part of Minnehaha County, especially affected the town of Valley Springs. Mitch, as you mentioned, we have some what we believe to be propane tanks, at least 2 of them, that the high waters loosened. And now these tanks are floating, we believe, through town. Now, we don't know if they're floating through the streets or if they're floating through that creek that's just to the north of the Valley Springs area. We do know that authorities are on scene, that a command post has been set up, so authorities are on this situation. Also, let's tell you about this. Due to the torrential rains and the high water, the main access road between Valley Springs and the Minnesota state line, that road is flooded. So there is no access to Valley Springs from the east because that main line between Minnesota and Valley Springs flooded at this time. Let's run down some power outage information that we have for you as we come up on 9 o'clock. Eastern Sioux Falls, many of folks over there without power at this time. Also scattered outages, we're told, through rural sections of eastern Minnehaha County. And again, that's where that tornado was reported to have touched down near the Rowena area, so it'd be understandable that some lines would be down at this time. We got a viewer report, a caller from Rock Rapids, saying that a few minutes ago, maybe about 5 minutes ago, the sirens went off in the community of Rock Rapids. The viewer says the storm really picking up, in his words. So Rock Rapids, folks in Lyon County, watch out for that. We have a lot of trees down along Cliff, 14th and Cliff, 26th and Cliff. Let's go back to Aaron Lindman.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Actually, this is what you're talking about. We have a tornado warning for southwestern Nobles County. We have a tornado warning for that area.
All right, thanks, Aaron, for that update. Once again, we have a lot of trees down throughout the city of Sioux Falls. Not so much on the southwest side, more so the central and the western part of Sioux Falls. A lot of trees down along Cliff Avenue, along 14th and Cliff. Also reported trees down at 26th and Cliff, pretty close to the Avera McKenna Hospital campus. We also have trees and power lines down, we believe, in the 2700 block of South Hawthorne at this time. And again, let's bring you up to date on the situation that we have in Valley Springs, an ongoing flash flood warning in effect for the southeastern part of Minnehaha County. Torrential rains bringing a lot of water to that area. And the situation in Valley Springs is that the high flood waters, which is what they are at this time, have apparently loosened 2 propane tanks. Those tanks are now floating free, I should say. And we have been told that there is some fuel leaking from those tanks at this time. Again, authorities are on scene. A command post has been set up. They're aware of the situation, and they're doing what they can right now, like we all are. So that's it from the newsroom right now. Let's go back to Aaron, I believe. What do you have, Aaron?
Thanks a lot, Brian. We have a